like I said, I was sick, so I wasn't even like paying attention to like what's been going on and who said what. But we about to get all the way caught up. No, for shizzle. I really just said that. Let's go.
Learned about a really weird situation involving Pokimane and a creepy employee of a major company, and it's left me
Welcome
feeling
in.
the same
Welcome
way I
in.
felt
How
when
you
I was a
doing?
young sprout that watched Inception
We
for the
gotta get
first
this
time.
figured out.
Confused. Usually, when I'm talking about things on the internet, I like to set the dinner table to prepare all of you for the meal we're about to consume together, give you like little cliff notes on what the whole thing is about. But in this case, I just can't. My tiny little smooth reptile brain can't fully grasp what exactly happened here. It's such a wild web of wacky, shady, sketchy shit that it's just not computing in my little noodle here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start playing some of the clips and do my best to
Drink
break
your
it
water.
down because it's a really interesting and strange case.
Someone that I and many streamers have been working with for years, someone who was also employed at a large company in the industry,
I gotta take
has
another drink.
targeted and manipulated girls, specifically in my community, by falsifying a romantic and sexual relationship with me.
Now, Pokimane treats their name like Voldemort. She doesn't speak it. She doesn't talk about who the
As
employee
she
is
shouldn't.
in order to protect the anonymity of the victims. Admittedly, I don't really understand that concept, considering if this is a powerful, prominent figure in the industry, I feel like it would have been a great service to actually name and shame them, so that way people know to avoid them in the future. But I'm not familiar enough with the situation to say for sure if that actually was optimal. Maybe this is the right way of playing it to keep it clean and safe for everyone. I don't know. But anyway, this Sith Lord of Cringe was a high-level employee at a company that was big into the streaming space. Most people are speculating it was a former Twitch employee, and if you held me down and waterboarded me and forced me to make a guess, I would also say it was most likely a former Twitch employee because Pokimane mentions that this person had a lot of connections with a ton of streamers, and there's just not many brands that work with a lot of streamers that like would they'd share in common. So I feel like the most likely answer is a former Twitch employee. And let's just face it, let's just be honest with each other here, all right? There's no reason to beat around the bush. I don't need to serve you syrup on your pancakes. I'll give them to you raw.
Give it to 'em.
There are some fucking creepy Twitch employees that have worked there. It's just the facts. This would not be the first
Just on
employee
Twitch,
to
flat
be
out.
a weirdo that has abused their power. There have been cases where some lower
Internet,
level
on the
employees have
internet.
done very sketchy things in their position, and this would kind of fit that modus operandi of someone doing something similar.
Leaking privileged information he gathered from his job, as well as threatening to harm himself if these girls turned against him. He is well networked in the industry, he knows many streamers, he has helped us with many things. This was someone that we were genuinely grateful for their help.
They
few
gotta
months
be big.
ago, a few girls in my community came forward to me with some concerns and asked to speak to my manager. They proceeded to send my manager countless screenshots and videos of their conversation with him,
4K.
proving the lying and manipulation that was going on.
The more Pokimane explains this person, the more I picture them as an unhealthily obsessed parasocial weirdo Reddit fanfic loser drooling all over themselves for a streamer because they're so delusional that they think they're entitled to a relationship with him because
Whoa.
they donate money. But in this case,
Hold on. How do you do that? How does he come up with that off the top like that? That's kind of crazy.
that stalker creep type actually had power. According to
Shout out
Pokimane,
to
this
Charlie.
was someone that they had worked with for multiple years now, and had actually used confidential information from their conversations to try and manipulate Pokimane's female viewers into liking him somehow. This is where his supervillain plan makes no sense to me. It is more confusing than quantum science.
I'm already confused.
So his plan is to reach out to Pokimane's female viewers and let them know that he is dating and having sex with Pokimane, and then fabricating screenshots to prove it in order to what? Like, how does that further his goal of getting laid, I guess? It makes no sense. We're dividing by zero trying to understand what this guy's thought process was. Pokimane explains that he would reach out to the female viewers, inform them of his relationship to her, and then what? Like, how? What was his end goal? I don't get it. Like, if it was other streamers, I would almost understand it, where he reached out to them to try and like form some kind of business relationship. Like, oh, hey, I saw you in Pokimane's chat. Well, I actually fuck her. So, you can trust me. I know what I'm doing. And I also work at this company. Like, that would almost make sense. And I guess
This is a
maybe
mind
that is
fuck.
part of it.
Excuse
but
my
she
language.
doesn't single out that he only reached out to streamers. He apparently reached out to just anyone in her chat that was female. So, like, this guy was casting the widest net imaginable, just swiping right on everyone on Tinder in Pokimane's chat. And then letting them know that he's dating her and they're sexually active, making love together.
Okay.
I guess. And then he'd even
They didn't-
trauma
did
dump
they
by
mention
saying
that?
that he's suicidal in
Yeah,
order
this
to
is
try
the
and
part that
force
made me
them
sick.
into a sympathetic situation where they'd feel obligated to communicate with him and stay in touch with him. Otherwise, they'd be afraid that he'd fucking kill himself, throw himself off of a goddamn rooftop or something if they ignored his Discord message. Like, this
Bro.
guy is just a fucking weirdo scumbag.
Strange.
And his plan doesn't make any sense.
Buster.
So
You feel me?
basically, he would reach out to girls
Try not
that
to
he
talk. I'm
knew
sick. Ignore
were
me.
like in my chat or viewers of mine. He would approach them, and because of his connections with streamers and the company he worked at, he seemed like a very trustworthy individual. He would then tell the girls that he's suicidal and deals with mental health issues, which of course would garner him a lot of sympathy. And again, these girls are so sweet, so
They
of
would
course
have
they
to
would
be.
hear him out. And then once he felt that he gained their trust enough, he would start sharing these photoshopped Discord conversations with me. Like, he would share it with them, but they were of me and him, as well as
Understood.
making up like wild stories about me. He acted like he knew and hung out with me and my friends in person. This is someone I've never met.
Again, what the fuck was his plan? It doesn't make sense. If his whole thing is about I'm dating Pokimane, so you can trust me, and I also work
I
at this
don't- I never
company, so you
heard
can,
her
like,
say
turbo
that.
trust me. Give me a big fist bump. I'm just here looking out for you. I saw you in her chat, and I thought, man, being the benevolent saint I am, I can help this girl. That's why I'm reaching out to you. But then what? Like, you're already conveying you're in a relationship with someone, so why would they then be enticed to try and, like, hook up with you if that's the goal? If the goal was, like, to get pussy or whatever. It just, none of it makes any sense at all. This is, like,
I've been
actual, like, deranged lunacy.
He fabricated all of this just to manipulate these girls. He claimed that his relationship with me made
Okay.
him suicidal, and he used this to make the girls feel like they couldn't turn their backs on him. He told elaborate stories of our alleged sexual encounters in detail to girls that are like in my community, use like inappropriate photos, like nudes that weren't of me, and he would send them to the girls and say that it was me. He also leaked confidential information to these girls to gain their trust.
What a master scheme from Megamind
I
here.
have no
Hey,
words.
here's
I have no
Pokimane's
words.
nudes.
I'll have words at
So,
the end.
do you want to work with me? Like, I don't.
It won't
get
be long.
So he'd Photoshop nudes or deepfake nudes potentially, and claim that they're Pokimanes to the girls in her community to try and manipulate them into being his friend, and then romantically getting involved with him. Like, how does that work? Like, how does sending nudes claiming that they're Pokimane lead to those girls you're sending them to being like, wow, I can't wait to fuck this guy. This guy's having sex with Pokimane. I need to have sex with this guy. Like, what in tardation is going on here? What a load of hooey. This dude ate way too much glue growing up and then got addicted to porn or something because what the fuck? It doesn't make sense. Now, it's not that I'm doubting it happened. I absolutely do believe this happened. And it does highlight an issue where when someone like this guy does get in a position of power, they have the ability to abuse it. She mentions
Yeah.
that he'd leak confidential information.
Vince.
She goes on to give an example
Looking at
where
you,
he would leak
bastard.
what she'd make off of a brand deal. So he would tell these girls in Pokimane's community, here's what Pokimane's making off of this brand deal. As a way of being like transparent and making it seem like, wow, this guy knows his shit. So he would leak confidential shit, which you can't do, obviously. And faking the nudes and everything in order to, for some reason, manipulate them into wanting to be with him.
I'm gonna have to hold
of it
all my
is
thoughts
so
to the end.
Fucking
Holy shit.
weird. So bizarre.
Afterwards, he would then try to develop romantic and sexual relationships with these girls after gaining their trust.
No, this
He would
shit
hit on them, offer to fly them out, meet up in person, buy them gifts. ask for inappropriate photos of them after sending them fake inappropriate photos of me.
This is so fucking stupid. This guy is an absolute imbecile. Here's some naked photos of Pokimane. Now, can you send me pictures of your boobies? I'd like to see your titties, please. Madame, would you like to come out to
I always wanna go
my neck
back.
of the woods? I'll fly you out,
I won't,
and
I won't.
we can discuss more of Pokimane's nudes together. Because as you know, I'm in a sexual relationship with her, of course. Like, none of it makes sense. Like, it is so wild.
It had to
and
fly
such a
once or
shitty
twice for
thing
him
to
to
do. And it doesn't even make sense why he'd do it in the first place, because the plan itself is nonsensical. It's so weird. So weird. So he disclosed the confidential information about like brand deals and money like that after reaching out, like cold calling like a fucking telemarketer to just women in Pokimane's chat to try and earn their trust through pretending to be suicidal and in a relationship with Pokimane. And then somehow that's supposed to translate to them flying out to him to have sex.
I think this is a good place to pause it. All right, we all know those weird type of people. We always know those, like, I don't know if I could say it, but you know. All right, so what I'm trying to say is, like, they aren't just your anime nerds. They're not just the people you bullied in high school. They're not just, like, now they are in, like he said, positions of power, and they will abuse it. And I think, excuse me, as more women are seeing this and they're being empowered to speak against this, I think we have to start understanding that it's in more places than we expect. It's in more places than we, have accepted as a culture. That has to change immediately.
How?
Strange.
Why? It's so fucking weird. So yeah, I
Excuse
just
me.
wanted to go over this because I've been racking my brain on it for a couple hours now. I heard this, or I saw these clips a couple hours ago, and I've just been stewing on it, just marinating, trying
Yeah.
to really get a grasp on what the fuck actually was going on in this dude's fucking brain to do this goofy shit.
I don't think he has
It's
one.
so
He has to
weird.
have one
So
for
I
his
just wanted to
position,
share
but
it. That's about it. See ya.
that's weird. Hey, you come back here. You come back here so I can like your video. Awesome. That was weird. No one should have
been
to.
a little while
Hey,
since-
stop it. No one should have to go through that. And I really feel like the more we discuss things like that, the more we're going to realize that we can clean this world up. It's not as messy. Well, it is messy, but it's not as bad as we make it out to be. It's something we can definitely fix.